AKAPADers. Happy Monday. Here we go. Let's start the work week with something depressing. The Bondsman just got canceled, so we're not going to get a season 2. Here's the wild thing. I had an episode in queue praising the show, just getting pumped up, getting amped for it, explaining a little bit of the monster of the week genre that works so well for serialized entertainment and everything. Granger David, he's our showrunner. Everything that he was like tapping into, and this genre, and getting Kevin Bacon attached to it, is a writer's dream. Granger David is definitely, in my view, a upcoming writer. But Amazon didn't greenlight a season 2. They nixed the show. And then where are we? Well, we have a very interesting conversation that stems out of this cancellation. So that's what this show's about today. A little bit depressing, but it's Monday. Let's just be depressing on the Monday, right? Let's go.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take 1.
Action!
Yeah, so to give you guys a little bit of insight of how I like to flow out the Monday through Friday weekday content drip. You guys know Fridays are usually independent movies that like need attention, low budget, big vision, big idea, but not always perfect. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, modern movies, 2023, 2024, 2025, comedies, romantic movies, melodramatic movies, like recent movies of a current thread, which would right now be we're doing like a lot of summer movies. So there's and I believe there's been a little bit of a modern day renaissance when it comes to the summer coming of age movie. But Mondays and Tuesdays sometimes are bangers. It's just the movies that I feel like are fun, bombastic, tentpole blockbuster, screaming to the clouds, pay attention to me. But just bigger movies with bigger names. That's my content sketch Monday through Friday for the 8 a.m. shows. Now, when it comes to 8 o'clock p.m., that's our second drop every single day. These are opinion videos. These are maybe creator or director or writer focused, cinematography, composer focused videos. Sometimes they're older movies, also amongst a thread. Just for example, I know we have another Ridley Scott movie coming. Maybe it's over a whole year ago. I said to myself, like Ridley Scott really is the greatest filmmaker of all time. We have to look at every single one of his movies, and again, it's a slow matriculation. So for Monday, like the last thing I want to do is bring you guys a show that I think was fantastic, but it's canceled. So we, like what do you do? We can't get excited for season 2. I can't focus too much on singular episodes. Maybe within time, but as of now, it's strictly the news that we won't get any more of Kevin Bacon and the Bondsman. The first episode for this, it's so much fun when you watch something and you think you smell the influences, like you kind of feel the inspiration for the show and the work, and just kind of like what's happening beyond the screen, and it's just like emanates and penetrates you. That's the way I felt when I was watching this, because this is such a perfect genre. It's such a perfect idea of having someone remolded by hell to suck in demons that are loose in the world, and you get a bondsman being being a bondsman. Knocking on doors, being Dog the Bounty Hunter, and you kind of give it that southern Anne Rice twist, like a lot of that stuff we saw with HBO's True Blood. There is something to backwoods and demonic horror. It just works. Kevin Smith's character, in my view, perfectly portrayed. I don't even know like the name. Like, what's the name of his Hub Holoran? Hub Holoran. He's an HH. Fantastic character. I really just wanted to see what the arc of this show, because like we kind of a lot of the series we have now, like we no longer get serialized entertainment that I call it the Love Boat effect, where in the Love Boat it was always the same thing, like same situation. You would have reoccurrings. Like some celebrities would come and go, but you would just find a way to juice up what was already happening in that show, and the show never deviated from that. But you would know what you liked as a viewer, and the producers and everyone involved would just keep giving you what you want, what you like. We see this with a lot of these crime procedural like dramas, like the SVUs and the CSIs, where it's just like rinse and repeat. But there is like a level of interest though, because it just leans heavily into, when I discuss with all of you, the importance of movie tropes and how movie tropes guide the audience. A lot of serialized entertainment is guiding the audience, and once everyone's locked in to what's being absorbed, liked, appreciated, and rewatched, you rinse and repeat. But we now live in a world where all these streaming shows, like these streaming services, they crank up the budgets. Look, some of these movies look like cinema. Some of these movies look like big budget Hollywood blockbusters, and they have the money behind them to agree with that. What we get is, for example, The Bondsman is 8 episodes. I think it's set up perfectly to be this supernatural replacement. Supernatural for the CW, I think, ran for 12 years, 12 seasons, like extraordinary. But Supernatural was drawing from the format that we saw with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And we had other shows around that time. Smallville, 10 seasons, Monster of the Week. We had Roswell, also from that same vein, from that same era, Monster of the Week. But with the expectations of a streamed show, people want story arcs. Like, they want the Breaking Bad. They want the rise and the fall and the rise again of a character. All of this stems directly to The Sopranos, because The Sopranos was so widely accepted. It was a little bit of a template to, if you have people paying for a show specifically, like signing up for your network and your service, or getting a cable subscription when it came to The Sopranos case, you could deliver more of a hero's journey, so to speak. With that, I'm just explaining what I'm going to miss with The Bondsman. But what I see here, can we get a novelization continuation of this, of Hub? Because Hub might be one of my favorite canceled characters of the modern day. What about a comic book, graphic novel series? Maybe, and we do see this. Netflix, another competitor to Amazon, picks up the show, continues it. Because I feel like Granger here, our showrunner, writer, our guy to keep an eye on, had a major arc laid out. If we watch these episodes, if we pay attention to them, these episodes were building into a true character arc. That's what makes it fun sometimes when you discover a streaming service. And we can get into the plot of all of this, but the plot's simple. I set it up for you guys. He needs to bring demons back to hell, and on Earth he also potentially, right, he's corrupted. Very John Constantine, like not a perfect person, but in the real world, in the earthly realm. He brought demons into jail. It's very simple. It's well laid out, and sometimes there's something about simple ideas, and when simple ideas are just told to you, like your ears perk up a little. You get like a little double interested again, because the creators, they call it hanging the lantern. The lanterns hang for you so you can follow it in the darkness. I don't know, AK Powders. I just wanted to talk to you guys about this because I feel like, this is of a true lineage of shows like this. Of you can kind of consider this show, it's a high concept show that lasted one season. We see this time and time again. In a way, you want shows like this to get canceled because they carry on they become legendary. They become work for a little bit of the fandom that rediscovers this stuff and kind of like blooms around it. I'm talking about people who would sit down and continue the story of Hub. They will write their own fiction for it. They will create their own short films for it and their own synopsises, and maybe even sketch out season 2, 4, and 5 and so on and so forth. There's a level of appreciation when we know we have a near miss, and that's what I view as the show. I just think it would have went higher, further, faster if we were to quote Captain Marvel. But we all have shows like this. We have a connection to what we never got more of. For me, growing up, there was a show on Fox called Space Above and Beyond that I thought it was everything that, and we can even argue too, the same thing happened when the Starship Troopers, and I've been talking about that movie a lot recently, just because I got the making of book for that, and I was showcasing it on YouTube. So like in doing that, you kind of rewatch the movie and explore some of the other adaptations. But when it comes to Space Above and Beyond, and Starship Troopers, like it blew my mind when, like, I realized like that Starship Troopers didn't make a lot of money at the box office. All the toys, not that it's a through line indicator. It's just something you notice. But the toys at the toy store for Starship Troopers were slashed on clearance, and you just saw like the whole attempt, the whole push, the whole franchise fade away. It slips from your fingers. And between those two shows, I thought they were like perfect setups for like alien invasion, like an alien war, and like they were so well done and thought out that there could be no wrong. But then you find out that, well, an overwhelming chunk of the audience just didn't care, and they moved on. There was another show around the X-Files called Millennium, with Lance Henriksen. Fantastic first season. Never got a season 2. The Lone Gunman, and there was like this attempt at one time too to expand the X-Files world into a true syndicated universe. And you rewatch these shows and you kind of appreciate them a little bit more and more. I think that's a part of the audience experience, and I think it should be celebrated, but you do pay a price along the way. And along the way, you just get fantastic characters, so you get a fantastic setup, fantastic execution, as we did with Bondsman, possibilities of the future, and it's gone. But having things not fully realized is a part of this game. And I'm coming to you guys from just a strict viewer, like a strict fan of the genre, to where, again, like I watch something like this and I see a lot of outside references, and my brain races, and I'm like, Granger maybe read this or watched that, or or maybe he does like Preston Child, and it goes like on and on. It makes it fun, makes it more engaging. But sad news, Bondsman's canceled. I'll be on the lookout though, because I think we will get more from this franchise. And well, we break ground here sometimes, AKAPADers. You heard it here first. The Bondsman, in my view, will not go away.
Okay, that's a wrap.